Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota District 23 Senate 2020. A father, an activist, a Marine Corps combat veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan, Purple Heart recipient with a bachelor's degree in information technology software engineering. CJ is the executive producer for the Adam vs. the Man podcast with Adam Kokesh, and the CEO of Internet Warlords, the War for the Internet, as well as a former 2018 South Dakota Libertarian gubernatorial candidate, and a 2020 South Dakota delegate to the Libertarian National Convention. If you would like to join this broadcast, click the link in the description. Coffee and a Conversation starts now. Have a great day or don't. The choice is always yours.
Major story we're following. NBA players are sitting out tonight's 3 playoff games, an extraordinary move to protest the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. 3 people were shot, 2 fatally, during overnight protests. And tonight, a 17-year-old from out of town is being held on suspicion of first-degree intentional homicide. CBS's Mola Lenghi reports tonight from Kenosha.
The shootings erupted just before midnight. The shooter, alleged to be 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. It allegedly began when he shot one person in the head at this boarded-up business, then fired on protesters in the middle of the street as they tried to subdue him.
He just shot them!
The gunman is then seen walking past multiple law enforcement vehicles with his hands raised, assault rifle in tow, leaving the scene without being stopped. Today, Rittenhouse was taken into custody in his hometown of Antioch, Illinois, just 15 miles from Kenosha, and is being held on first-degree intentional homicide charges.
2 people are dead. This is not a police action. This is not the action, I believe, of those who set out to do protests.
Earlier in the day, the suspected shooter says he was there to guard the community.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property?
Yes, we are.
Wednesday evening, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul released the first details into his department's investigation into the Jacob Blake shooting. Kaul said 3 officers were involved in the incident, but only one, Rustin Shesky, fired all 7 shots. Kaul added that Blake admitted to officers that he had a knife and that one was ultimately recovered on the floorboard of the SUV near where Blake was shot. Tonight, all 3 NBA playoff games are on hold after the Milwaukee Bucks boycotted their game just before tip-off. This after Los Angeles Clippers head coach Doc Rivers was noticeably frustrated last night.
We've been hung, we've been shot, and all you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing why we keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back.
Well, now there's word that baseball's Milwaukee Brewers are canceling their game tonight. Meanwhile, the Kenosha County Sheriff said today that he welcomes peaceful protesters, but warned that law enforcement will, quote, be more assertive with anyone breaking the law tonight, including staying out past curfew, which has been bumped up an hour to 7 p.m. The mayor of Kenosha also said today that armed militias are not welcome, Nora.
Ooh. All right, Mola Lenghi.
Ooh, man. Good morning or morning. I don't want to assume the adjective of your day. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, CJ, the Internet Warlord, coming to you live and loud from the great state of Meth Dakota. You know, Meth Dakota, it's a state just north of Nebraska, just south of North Dakota. The state formerly known as South Dakota until the Queen of Meth herself, Governor Kristi Noem, declared by proclamation that, hey, we're all on meth here in, well, Meth Dakota. So those are 2 stories all wrapped up into one, huh? You like that? The first Jacob Blake shooting, and then the 17-year-old Kyle that murdered 2 people. Now, I've been watching the comments. I've been watching people's reports. Good morning, Matt. I see you there. You guys feel free to use the comments as well as every broadcast. I did check it this time. The link is in the description if you'd like to join this broadcast. Take up half or all my screen and tell me why I'm wrong. I'd be more than willing to I'll be more than willing to let you take over the broadcast. Looky Loos and Keyboard Patriots, welcome. So last night I followed Miko Hayes on this one. Miko Hayes is a great journalist and definitely somebody that I would recommend following when it comes to this story. He's not somebody that's going to sit there and cater to anybody's audience. I was trying to find his Kenosha shooting story here. I know he's got one. I guess I don't see the article for it. Maybe he hasn't got it up yet, but either way, he does have a video up here, and he made a great point that I wanted to share with everybody today. So if you haven't already gone and subscribed to Miko Hayes' channel, discussglobal.com, highly recommend it.
Yeah, it just sucks because I'm telling you, when this kid goes to jail, all these social media people calling him a hero, they're not going to be fucking writing him and calling him every day. They're not even going to remember his fucking name or be sharing the memes anymore. They're using him right now. They're throwing his name around. He was used and manipulated. He was twisted by, I don't know. You know, this is just a really shitty situation. It shouldn't have happened last night for many reasons that go way beyond just actual shooting. Okay, Frank, we actually went over that. He never had a Molotov cocktail thrown at him. It was a bag. Like it was, we actually have that video pulled up right here. That right there on the ground, that's the bag that was thrown on him. That's why this video at the same time, you don't see fire. There's no fire in the parking lot because he never had a Molotov cocktail thrown at him. That is people trying to twist the truth to justify something that was wrong. Like 100% wrong. I don't like soy milk, Alice. Okay, the others that went after him though, over on YouTube, I'm seeing that went after him after he shot a guy in the head. So that's going to be pretty hard because he shot somebody in the head first. That didn't come later. He didn't get jumped first. It didn't light. No, it's not that it didn't light. It's that it's a plastic bag, Frank. You dumb fuck. Like, it's a bag. It's not a Molotov cocktail. I get that you want it to be a Molotov cocktail so that you can try and justify this shit, but it's a bag, and you're a dumb fuck.
You gotta love Miko Hayes. He will go to war with his own comments and break it down for you in the realest of terms. But yeah, Miko's right. This kid's going to jail for a very long time, and there are people out there trying to justify it to every extent they possibly can. And you know, that brings me to my point for the day and how the word patriot has been hijacked by the right of the Socialist Party of America. They took the word patriot and turned it into something that it doesn't mean, and they have taken it from people that have actually served and given it to that title to 17-year-old kids that murder people without due process. And that kid, you can tell, man. Yeah, I would even wonder if they're going to do a toxicology report on that kid, because there was a few times in those videos he looked like he might have been on something. But so you have a 17-year-old kid who shouldn't have been in Kenosha, Wisconsin to begin with, possessing a firearm he is not legally allowed to possess, let alone own. Like, it's not even his. So whoever's rifle that is most likely going to be charged as well. There's a reason why he was wearing those gloves over his hands, because if something like that had happened, he would not have his fingerprints on the weapon. So this man is somebody that contemplated what he was going to do. Good morning, Nikki. I see you there. Oh. Good morning, OD Dub. How are you? And looks like Mr. Adam Dingle would like to join us this morning and has a thought. So good morning, Adam. What's your thoughts on the Kenosha, Wisconsin shooting?
I'm not going to get into the talking details of everybody presenting some type of whatever. I was watching the live video as it was prior to it happening and as it escalated into what it did. The cameraman that I was watching did a very shitty job at covering it, but he did make a statement within 30 seconds prior to shots being fired, and you could hear the glass being broken on vehicles. There were people in that parking lot who were destroying property.
Does that warrant the death penalty?
No.
Extrajudiciously? Okay. Just checking if that had changed overnight.
No,
Yeah.
no, I can't justify his shooting. I will say my personal belief is that I heard Miko talking about law and that he was illegally possessing a firearm and
He's 17 years old per the states that he was there. I mean, yeah, he's in illegal possession of a firearm. And all these people are like, just follow the law, you know? Well, it's like, yeah, well, this kid didn't follow the law.
If he is an actual member of an actual militia, then he is of lawful right to carry a...
Negative, Ghost Rider. Negative, Ghost Rider. Just because you declare yourself in the militia doesn't mean you get to break the state laws you live in or you travel to.
Well, what is the law on that?
The law says you can't be 21 to own that rifle in the state of Illinois in which he resides. The law says 18 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Also, he was out past curfew. So all these law-abiding patriots out there that are just protecting the community are actually breaking the law.
Yeah, but that's arbitrary law, though. That's to restrain one's liberty. This
kid is not an adult. We're talking again. Let's not compare him to a man unless you want him charged as an adult for murder, which it most likely will be either way. But I would make the argument. Hey, listen, if you want to give him a defense,
then the law has to apply.
Hang on. If you want to give him the defense of if you charge him as an adult, then you must treat him as if his rights were that of an adult. That I'll give you. But again, it's going to be hard to declare self-defense when you shouldn't have been there. It's kind of like when you drive a vehicle and you rear end somebody and they find out you don't have a license, insurance, proof of registration, and then you flee the scene of the crime. It's no different. You should stay there. First off, he didn't. Second off, he shouldn't have been driving the vehicle, and in this case, possessing the firearm. He causes an accident. In this case, he causes 2 murders. And so, again, if you compare the two, and if you're a law-abiding citizen, you should have realized he never should have had the weapon to begin with. And whoever his mom or dad are going to watch their kids sit in a federal prison for, if not state prison, for a very long time. And all these patriots that are out there, Adam, are going to forget he exists by the time the next new shiny story object comes along.
Yeah, No, exactly. And again, I'm not here to try to justify it. I just want to, I don't know. I just want to make a statement that because I'm seeing everybody essentially being judge, jury, and executioner on the kid without actually
I
being
think we're
truly informed.
We're seeing what we see on the screen, and we're going, this is our opinion as of right now. At first, you want to be like, hey, man, from what I heard, this is just the story around the grapevine is that the people he shot were all convicted sex offenders. And you're like, well, is there a silver lining in this, But then again, at the end of the day, that all shit can be, just hearsay and forged and faked.
It is all hearsay.
And it seems to be the go-to to justify it's either a criminal record or that seems to be the thing in Kenosha is to just say everyone's a sex offender. So, I mean, it's really hard to take it all seriously when you're going, okay, well, first off, the kid shouldn't have been there. Let's just make that first and foremost. Second off, he shouldn't have been in possession of a firearm. I mean, again,
yeah, I don't know. I don't like that type of narrative or talk or as far as where someone should or shouldn't be. I don't know. I thought
this is a minor. Again, let's keep in mind that this is a minor, Adam. This is a minor you're talking about. And when you say somebody, don't say somebody. Don't use the wrong pronoun. Use the word kid or minor.
So liberty is age restricted.
Fuck yeah, it is. Abso-fucking-lutely it is in this country. Abso-fucking-lutely. This country is age restricted for your freedom. Make no mistake about it. There's a reason why minors can get emancipated in the United States. And then you can be an adult. But until you can legally buy those cigarettes there that you're smoking, until you can legally own your own home, until you can legally be considered an adult, and even then in the state he lives in, to be in possession of that firearm, you have to be 21. And that's the laws that he lives under in his jurisdictions. Now, I can disagree with the law all the time. I could say, hey, that law, 21, bullshit, like, fuck that, that's dumb. But it doesn't change the fact that the laws he lives under, if the law here in South Dakota says, CJ, you can't possess a machine gun, and I buy a machine gun illegally, and then I go and I shoot 3 people with it, no matter how scumbaggy they are, they're still going to charge me for illegal possession of something that's against the law. And again, that's an example. I don't actually own one as much as I want to. I mean, I really want to. I want to own a machine gun for sure. But and I'll say that I want a nuclear warhead personally. I want recreational nuclear warheads legal for everybody. I think the apocalypse would be way more entertaining. So, anyways, to me, again, this Kyle Rittenhouse, his parents failed him. I don't know his mom and dad's story. I don't know why he was there at 17. I don't know who brought him there. I don't know how he got there. I have none of this information, but what I do know is that he's going to be charged as an adult because, again, that's just the way the government works. They're going to say that he was in illegal possession of a firearm, which is the equivalent in this case of driving a vehicle without a license. You shouldn't have been in possession of that. And then they're going to charge him with homicide, intentional first-degree homicide. And he will sit there as an adult for a long time. And like I said, people will forget about him. Nope. None of these people that are sharing the memes are going to write him a letter. None of these people that are sharing all these memes of him are going to go visit him. I mean, and I don't know, man. I think the word patriot's just a bunch of people like Kyle's that want to play, patriot. They've changed the word patriot to mean shooting anybody we disagree with. And then again, I fundamentally disagree with how and again, they kicked the militias out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm sure that's going to piss off militias all across the country. But to what extent does that even mean? These are guys that are all gear queers. They want to be deputized. Like the group that Kyle was a part of was basically telling the sheriff, we've got more of us than you, and you should deputize, or you better deputize us. And the sheriff's like, fuck that. I'm not responsible for any of you motherfuckers. So no, you're not being deputized. I mean, that would be just like murder in the street. And that's what you get. You got it anyways. I mean, so There was no Molotov cocktail. That's a false narrative. It's a hoax. As just like the Patriots.
How
like
was
say,
the car set on fire? How was
know,
the car set on fire?
And not by that guy. And that was, but we're not talking about the specifics of any car or anything. We're talking about the incident of the kid saying, the people saying that there was a Molotov cocktail thrown at this kid. It's not true. It's a false narrative. Just like the Patriots say that hands up, don't shoot was based on a false pretense, false narrative. These Patriots are creating a false narrative the same way, and they're going to have more kids out there in the streets shooting people. That's what the Patriots are going to have, is more children out there in the streets shooting people. End of discussion, dude. It's not responsible. It's not right. I'm not going to justify. I'm not going to be like, good job, militia, for recruiting a 17-year-old kid, allowing him to be in illegal possession of a firearm per not one but two state laws. And if you really want to break it down, a 17-year-old could have been trafficked across to that state. They could look at whoever brought him there as a trafficker of children. I mean, if you really want to break it down into criminal charges, this fucked up government could twist it on. I mean, I could go all day. So, I mean, at what point do we have to understand that these militia members are not patriots? They're domestic terrorist organizations masquerading.
So what? I would argue that the police institutions are.
You're not going to hear me argue with you on that one either. So what we have is just a bunch of domestic terrorist groups running around and terrorizing each other, all playing the fucking victim. Fact.
And not only that, it all comes back down to now it only basically empowers and reinforces government.
I agree. And the only victor in this is the government. Yep. I mean, think about it. All the taxpayer money that's going to go into this bullshit. I mean, the trial, the committees that'll be formed as a result of it. The justification for the theft of tax dollars. I mean, yeah, Adam, it's a crazy world we live in. Adam, I think you need to get one of these Adam versus the man mugs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's got the Freedom logo on the back. Adam versus the man. That's the show I produce,
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Liberty. I see you there, sir. I'm just having a conversation with Mr. Adam Dingville here about the Kenosha shootings and what's been going on there. So thanks for tuning in this morning, sir. So Adam, again, I go back to it's a 17-year-old kid, and they're gonna put the hammer to him, and all these patriots out there that are sharing all these memes, calling him a hero. I mean,
yeah. 90% of people who refer to themselves as Americans are all, very highly sedated, mentally sedated, and very unconscious of.
There was a part of the video that I wanted to show here where it looked like he was on something, and having been trained in the military, I know the tactics of subordination and to get people to comply. And I want you to look at his face when we look at this next scene here, and look at his eyeballs.
Earlier in the day, the suspected shooter says he was there to guard the community.
So you guys are full on ready to defend the property?
Yes, we are.
Now that right there, that look straight ahead, that no eye contact order, that is a kid that he's a subordinate. He's a subordinate, answering as a subordinate. He's one damn yes sir away from it being military talk. So again, he was recruited. It was something that he wasn't the head honcho of. It was straight up, this kid is under somebody's influence. And so there could be more people involved. That kid's going to talk. He's going to say to the people, he's going to want a plea deal. He's going to want everything to not be a 17-year-old kid sitting in prison. So we're gonna figure out, how he got there, who gave him, or if he just stole the weapon. I'm kind of on Miko's side. I'm hoping, for the sake of other individuals out there, that he stole this weapon from a safe and that it wasn't handed to him by somebody. If it was handed to him by somebody, that somebody is going to be charged. I mean, it's nobody wins in this. Do you think? I mean, again, nobody's walking
Government
away.
does.
Oh, okay.
Government.
You know what, Mr. Dingle? I stand corrected to you, sir. I stand corrected to you on that. The government, yes, the government did win on this one. But the militia doesn't win. They've been kicked out of the city, and people are going to just say, look at this. Militia are just out there wanting to be trigger happy. And there's
and that's somewhat failure on media.
I agree.
And the militias themselves, they may not be as well organized as they could or should be. They need to hit the platforms. They need to be organized and having open discussions and being able to get, local and mainstream airtime to plead their case and to plead their objectives and to speak on the matters that they need to speak on. In my opinion. Are you
again, somebody who was called and said, hey, CJ, this is the South Dakota militia. Would you like to be a part of it? My answer was no, thank you. I'll pass. I mean, not that I wouldn't consider it in some form or fashion if I was to, go to their meetings and see if this is a cult or if this is actually a legitimate cause. At that point in my life, I had no interest in being a part of the South Dakota militia. It just seemed like a Trump group that I just didn't want to be a part of. I mean, I'm not a Trump guy, so it's kind of like asking me to go in there and talk shit about all you guys while you're sucking Trump's dick in the morning. Like, no, thank you. I don't want to participate in the circle jerk of the Orange Messiah. So, it's like, okay, so we've seen the stories about Jacob Blake. We've seen the Kyle stories. Where do you see it going? Because people are going to break the curfew again tonight. There's going to be riots again tonight. I mean, this time the militia will be treated no differently than BLM, and the government's going to win. I mean, Donald Trump already said, "Hey, motherfuckers, we're sending in militia to the story." What I found funny is today I'll be sending federal enforcement and National Guard to Kenosha. But what I found even more funny is that baseball teams and basketball teams are using, you guys weren't good little boys and girls out there in the streets last night, so no sports games for you now. I thought that was a missed, wait a minute. So now these teams that are wait a minute, they can use this as we've been punished. We don't get the Milwaukee Bucks game tonight. Oh, man.
Hey, I don't necessarily care, but again, back down to the Declaration of Independence.
I know you always bring it back to that.
A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they shall declare the causes which impel them to the separation. So people need to speak up collectively and declare what they want and how they want it, and the government needs to obey it. But we're not going to have that because we're too sedated and confused and divided. And yeah, government wins, we obey. And if we don't, there will be severe repercussions.
Well, Mr. Dingle, as always, you always have the most beautiful of words to just make us all feel joyous in the day. So thanks for joining me this morning, Adam, and I look forward to seeing you again.
I appreciate it.
As always.
Yes, I will. I will catch you on the flip side.
Later, Adam. Oh, did I lose myself there for a moment? Man. All right. Well, Adam Dingle, everybody. That was some interesting conversation there. Feel free to use the comments, and if you want to join the broadcast as well, feel free to click the link in the description. Yeah, just a crazy story out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and how this is all developed, and the treatment of some people. I mean, the way that people have really taken this one story personally, like as if their life personally is changed by this. If they don't pitch a certain narrative in their mind, it's going to collapse the thinking of their worldview. So in order for them to justify, instead of being malleable in their opinion and allowing the facts to be concrete, they have to justify the shooting one way or another that benefits their worldview. And that is what I'm seeing out of people that you'd actually respect. I mean, that you'd find to be a patriot, that you would, that, again, I it's just weird to me. I like to say that you can tell a person's biases right out the gate. It's like judging a book by the cover. You know, if there's a book that says "Back the Blue" with a thin blue line and it's got the flag and it's looking like it's a pro-blue Lives Matter book, I'm going to assume that that's a pro-blue Lives Matter book. But if I read it and the last page is like, fuck the po-po, I'll be like, whoa. So, I mean, if there's a book with Hillary Clinton's picture on it saying my life, I'd be like, nah, toss that shit in the trash, you know. Trump, my life, toss that shit in the trash. I might read Joe's. I'm more apt to read this book that Kendall got me, though. This nice conspiracy theories, world's biggest mysteries uncovered. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy nut. My life goal is to end up on the Tinfoil Hat podcast. You know, I'm a patron there, and I think Sam Tripoli, Xavier Guerrero, and Johnny Nice are some of the best conspiracy theory podcasters out there, and I think this turns into a conspiracy, man. I think there's a lot to unpack with this. I mean, who would have known that a guy getting shot in Kenosha, Wisconsin would lead to a 17-year-old kid murdering two people? Now, I've heard it again. I've seen it in the comments in the news feed that these two guys were sex offenders, and I want to emphasize this again. While I love the sentiment, and I'm a pro wood chipper myself, I'm actually a founding member of the Guillotine Caucus. I'll remind all you law-abiding citizens that our government still says that extrajudicial death penalties are cruel and unusual. And they want a sole jurisdiction, and they want to be the arbiters of the death penalty, not militias on the street, not vigilante groups that are out there. So, until the laws change, it's a fantasy land. So, but yeah, I think that kid was either on something or under somebody. And that was something that I caught. You can tell that 1,000-yard stare, like you're being questioned by a leader of some sort, a mentor, somebody that you believe has authority over you. He was being questioned in a very straightforward manner, almost as if pride mattered on it. Like you'd see like a corporal walking by a PFC, and you see that PFC like stand at attention, and yes, corporal, no corporal, I corporal, like that kind of shit, where you know that they're willing to do instant obedience and willingness to orders for the rank above them. Even some of those people will be like, yes, senior PFC, and you're like, what a fucking tool bag. So. If anybody else wants to join, though, like I said, the link in the description is hot. I only have 2 more broadcasts, this one and tomorrow. I'm going to take the weekend, and I'm not doing shit. 2 more broadcasts until I go to corn harvesting season. So I won't be here at the Command Studio of Freedom. I'll be out there in the cornfields of South Dakota. Yeah, wrote that song a long time ago. But You won't see me out there with the militias giving minors rifles and allowing them to possess those rifles and then shoot people. And but yeah, it sucks that the word patriot's been hijacked. As somebody that's been to Iraq and Afghanistan, I find it appalling that my service is based upon how well I can suck the dick of the current president. And all these patriot Trumpophile groups, they'll take that word and they'll diminish your services if you're not on your knees blowing the president. And I find it appalling that they think that way. And there's a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying there's a lot of veterans out there that will tie your service and character of service, not knowing you at all. They'll see it and they'll go, oh, he's a Marine, but he doesn't suck Trump's dick, so his service is less than that of a Marine who would suck the dick of Donald Trump. That's our current patriot. That's America's current patriot. You might hate hearing it, but it's the fucking truth. A lot of these patriots are only patriots because they will patronize the dick of the president. No, patron, not patronize. Either way, you get what I'm saying. And you know what's funny is that I can talk all this shit and know that I've been begging a Trumpophile just to join me, just join me for a cup of coffee and a conversation, but that miracle never happens. And I have for, what is this, 73, 74 episodes now? I've had a few that were deleted. My lost count of one. Yeah, I had a few that were like, Facebook and YouTube were like, no, we're not even going to tell you why. We're just going to take them down and hope you don't notice. And when your titles, you count them up, you're going to be missing two. And we won't tell you why. They're just gone. And we know you said some of the most offensive things in the history of the offensive language. Good morning, AJ. I will miss coffee and a conversation. I have enjoyed these in the morning. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. I'll still go and send out messages. If I got service out in the field and I'm sitting there with a cup of coffee and 20 minutes to bullshit, I might pop on and say hello from the semi for or wherever I'm at out there in the cornfields. But there's no way I can do the whole broadcast with the things and the flashy and the video and all that. I can't do that. So I'll keep them shorter and to the point when I'm out in the cornfields like I did last year. And then when I'm done with harvest season, I'll be back to producing Adam versus the Man Monday through Friday, 11 to 1 Central Standard Time. Check out this coffee mug. Like, it doesn't get much more legit than this incredible coffee mug. It makes your coffee taste a little less statist in the morning. So coffee's getting cold, so unless somebody's going to come on here and give me that talk, the link is in the description. There's a few patriots that I wish would join me. I've been called a jihadist, if you can believe that. I have been, CJ, you're a jihadist. Get this, no different, a veteran themselves. Comparing me to a jihadist. I'll have you know I'm a United States Marine Corps combat veteran. As the intro says, Purple Heart recipient of Iraq and Afghanistan. Like I'm, like don't tell me I'm a fucking jihadist, you idiot. I will sit there all fucking day long and just call you a fucking keyboard patriot. You know what? I wouldn't say keyboard patriot. I would say a Trumpophile patriot. It's like a patriot, but a lot more degraded in its wording. Trumpophile patriot is something, and you know what the sad part is they'd hear me speak and be like, I'm proud to be a patriot, CJ, and like, oh God. And it's counterproductive to the narrative. I mean, the narrative being that your service does not dictate, the character of your service is not based off of how well you stroke the ego of Trumpophiles or the president himself. Like, you're never going to see me sit here at my computer ever in my life and go, hi guys, you guys want to watch me gag on Trump? No, I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm not Did you guys see the RNC and Melania Trump's new speech? Oh my gosh, it touched my soul. Like, you guys are fucking idiots, plain and simple. Like, stupid people. And again, it just helps me identify it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Honestly. And you know, there's people like, and I can hear it. I can hear like the Larry Sharps in the Libertarian Party being like, be nice to Republicans. They are people too. And I can hear that. And I can respect the sentiment, but these people don't respect people. They don't give you the same benefits of the doubt. They don't give you that courtesy to think differently than them. Well, libertarians, as a libertarian, as an intellectual, you know, we'll at least hear out both sides. We'll listen to the pedocrats and we'll be like, all right, you're right on this, you're wrong on that. We'll listen to the Trumpophiles and be like, you're right on this, you're wrong on that. And then we'll argue about that amongst ourselves. And then we all come to a consensus. And then that's the way it just works. I mean, we'll argue online with each other. It's insane. But I'm seeing a lot of the arguing come out of this one. I'm seeing a lot of people take this and run with their narrative. And I mean, I could probably check Facebook and show you every single meme that's been shared on this thing. I mean, and again, keep in mind that none of these people are the ones that are going to be out there supporting this kid when he's sitting in prison. So, I mean, let's see how long it takes me. Count me down. Up, look at that. Less than 1 second here just to get it there. Look. Oh, you stand with Kyle. You stand with 17-year-old kids murdering people. Like, congratulations. Congratulations, man. You stand with Kyle, who's going to be standing in prison, getting raped by Bubba. Like, congratulations. He thinks that this kid's going to get a slap on the wrist. It just goes to show your level of education. It has nothing to do. But again, so I've seen things like this. And again, this kid shouldn't have been there to begin with, but yeah, that was definitely self-defense, my 2 cents. Again, life registration, sex offender, Joseph D. Rosenbaum. Let's see if we can actually see what it was for. Doesn't give you the story on it. Video. Yeah, I guess I don't see that. Yeah, don't really see that one. But again, as much as I hate to admit it, the Supreme Court says it would be a extrajudicious murder. If the court didn't convict him and gave him a sentence, then again, they didn't execute him. That doesn't give you the right to execute him based upon it. Although, again, I'm not crying over the dude's grave. Don't get me wrong. I'm just, in fact, if you go out to one of these protests or riots and you get shot and murdered in the street, even if it is by a 17-year-old kid, that's on you, man. that is on you. Because I was sitting at home hanging out with my family, having a good old time last night. I wasn't out there rioting in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or out there pretending to be G.I. Joe, so really it comes down to choices, and that's the. Now this is the dude that shot the dude, or they got shot. He was hitting him with a skateboard, and then he got shot, and they're calling it self-defense. It's not self-defense when you are accused of murdering people. Or somebody, excuse me. But then I see something like this, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for these things to come out, you know. So Like I said, it doesn't, again, the courts didn't, again, you can look at this again. The courts did not execute this guy. That does not mean that he gets to go and get executed by a 17-year-old who just murdered somebody else extrajudiciously. Another guy that got shot in the arm apparently is being called an anarchist. Who was shot in the arm was a felon and not allowed to be in possession of a firearm. This is where the libertarian in me goes, hey, every founding father of this country that carried a rifle into battle was a felon to the British government. Now, I'm of the mindset that as long as you didn't commit a violent armed felony, like let's say you did a felony that was non-violent, there was no victim, then once you've paid your dues to your debts to society in that aspect, your gun rights should be restored. I'm of the mindset that if you paid your debt to society, the government shouldn't be restraining your rights. Now, if you've committed a violent gun felony, it's a little different. But if your felony had nothing to do with a gun to begin with, I'm of the mindset that once your time is served, your rights should be restored. So, yeah, it doesn't take long for people to twist the narrative into, hey, look, he's a Blue Lives Matter guy. And Antifa's doxing him. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. So, let's see here. There's a fundraiser going on for this kid. They'll probably cancel it because, again, that's just, yeah, this, hey, check this out. The website is fully queued up, though. Like, there's people waiting in line right now just to give their money to this kid. So, there is that. That is a live fact right there. Oh, man. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't take long. See, this is what's going to influence more children out in the streets shooting people. This is what you get when you entice minors into being felons and murderers. You know? And it's sad. It's sad that adults are encouraging this. You know, you're only going to inspire more kids to go shoot people they don't agree with. Like, what do you want, an award? You're the biggest patriot in the world. Let me give you an attaboy, you fucking idiot. Yeah. What a day. Oh, look, there you got some actual straight up video of him now. All right, here we go. Since the man's going to be put away for a while, let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
What are you doing out here? Obviously, you're armed and you're in front of this business we saw burning last night. So what's up?
So people are getting.
Oh, there goes the narrative that he was out there protecting a business. Dude, look at this kid. This kid is not.
And our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is to also help people. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I need to protect myself, obviously. So I also have my med kit.
And there's idiots defending this shit. You're literally defending a kid out there in what should be it's the equivalent of a it says, okay, it's as close to a combat zone as these faggot patriots are ever going to get to, and they know it. That's the truth. And they inspire children like this to come out there and say dumb shit like that before they murder people. And again, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. This kid's gonna fry. I mean, you don't have to like me to know that the kid, and I keep saying this, the kid, you fucking idiots. Oh, god damn. These are the same fucking stupid patriots that if a fucking 52-year-old woman was hitting on this 17-year-old kid, they'd call her a pedophile. Like, fucking get your fucking shit straight. It's a kid, 17, illegal possession of a firearm. Shouldn't have been out with the militia, past curfew, in a state he's not a resident of, protecting a business that's already burnt fucking down. And again, he's not really protecting it. I mean, again, it's dumb. He's just standing there. Well, his presence, CJ, bullshit. If the presence actually affected anything, the presence of law enforcement would stop riots and protests. It doesn't. Your logic is so fucked up and twisted. I just can't back it. I can't talk. I can't talk about how much stupid that makes my head just go, god damn it. I can't defend your guys' fucking logic. You're inspiring kids. Kids. If your words are inspiring kids to go do this shit, you're
me and say, why don't you deputize citizens who have guns to come out and patrol the city of Houston? What happened last night?
I'm gonna get a coffee.
Reason why I wouldn't.
That's it. Those are, hang on. These are the people that are inspiring children to go into the streets with illegal firearms and shoot people extrajudiciously. That's what you're inspiring. I don't even have time to play the rest of it. I don't even care to give it any more attention to that. Well, actually, I guess what, you know what, I should. Their faces should be on this. They're responsible too.
That the presence of the militias last night contributed to the increased tension there?
So you want my personal opinion?
Oh, man. This dude's about to take career suicide as an option. He's about to piss off all the patriots out there. He's probably going to have, and again, these are all the back the blue people. So we're going to preface this with Blue Lives Matter. We're going to preface this with, this is who you guys are saying you support when you wave those blue and black, white flags. He's going to tell you what he thinks. We already know what happened.
I don't, to some people it may have been calming. To me it's not.
So he shoots people in the video. He opens fire and then he walks away and walks toward officers. He appears to have his hands up in the air, wanting to turn himself in, but then he later flees. Whoever was there, officers, sheriffs, why did they let him go? How was he able to go?
Well, I wasn't there, but just hearing what you just said, I have a pretty good idea. You got to understand that at that point there's, and I don't know what was going on right then. I don't have a clue, but there's screaming, there's howling, there's chanting, there's a squad car running, there's MRAPs and Bearcats idling, and I don't know where it was, so I don't know. And if the officer happened to be in the car, the radio traffic was nonstop, and there were people running all over the place.
What the? That was not me.
Yeah, that's quite the hell of a story, huh? So, congratulations, militia. You're inspiring children to go extrajudiciously murder people in the streets, really. As a man, you're inspiring kids to extrajudicious murder. To just look for an excuse. Be ready for the excuse to pull the trigger. And if you do, you'll be a patriot. And the people on Facebook will share memes about you until you're charged with first-degree intentional homicide. And then in which case, we're going to forget about you. Yeah. It's amazing to me is how these people are just. And you know what's the sad part is that their identity. My identity is not based on what the fuck this kid in Kenosha, Wisconsin did, or the black man in Wisconsin did, or any other person for that matter. But their identity as militia. They self-identify as militia. That matters. Patriot, that matters. So they have to defend these words as if an attack on that word is an attack on them. And it's in that groupthink mentality and the language in which we use to say, hey, this is where I belong. This is my belief system. It's obvious to me that this is what it's inspiring. It's inspiring people to shoot other people extrajudiciously. Cops included. This is the times we live in America. Crazy times, man. And it all started, in my opinion, when the WWE went down. We stopped filling arenas with people that could just get out a good yell on a Friday night, on a Monday night. And, we stopped filling arenas, and we took away the bread and the circus, and now we're having the riots in the streets. And, yeah, it's a joke, you idiots, before you take me serious. Not you watching, the idiots that'll take that seriously. Again, link is in the description if you want to join the broadcast. I do have some time left this morning. It's only 9:14, so if anybody does want to join, I only have 2 more broadcasts left until I'm out in the cornfields of South Dakota and won't be able to do these lives. Don't act like you care about this kid or his freedom. You are just out there destroying his jury pool with your racist political propaganda. You may as well join BLM. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's almost like you guys don't realize that what first-degree intentional homicide means. You know what I mean? They said he went there with the intent to commit homicide. Like, why are you worried about what I'm saying? I'm tainting his jury pool. All 5 people? Like, fuck you, idiot. Here, let me help you out the door there, Mr. Bruce. Not that you're gonna care, but like I said, I'm not blocking you. It's clear who your friends are, and I like to make sure that my list is clean. So you're not blocked. You haven't said anything that's going to make me go, oh my God, block that guy's speech. But I don't need to keep you on my friends list. Just take away your ability to notify me whenever. That's all that really is. Let's see here. I'm betting he's let go altogether. I'm going to disagree with that comment fundamentally. I think they're charging him intentionally with intentional homicide. Chasing a 17-year-old kid. I don't want my kid to shoot him too. If he survived, we'd guillotine him together, which a bond. Again, this is a 17-year-old that shouldn't have been there. This is a 17-year-old who was in illegal possession of a firearm, and people are trying to justify this, man. And I mean, again, I see that everyone's accusing the 2 he shot of being the sick, fucking twisted perverts that they are, if they've been convicted of heinous crimes. But I will again go back to the court says just because they're that doesn't mean we get to execute them in the streets. And again, it's extrajudicious murder. I'm not saying I don't agree with the sentiment of beheading people like this. I really do. I wish we had a quicker process that was, instead of just letting them roam the streets and riot businesses because they're already felons and they don't fucking care. But again, I'm not justifying the two that got shot. I'm just saying, like a car accident with somebody that doesn't have a license and registration and proof of insurance is a minor getting into accidents, they're still going to charge you. You killed somebody behind the wheel of a car, or you killed somebody with a rifle in self-defense, even if you're claiming self-defense, he's not going to get off on this one, I'm telling you. To say I'm tainting the jury pool is hilarious to me, though. That's just straight up ignorance. How dumb. He might spend some time behind bars if it turns out he's not allowed to possess a gun, but he won't spend any time for the killings. I disagree with that fundamentally, too. People, they are charging him with intentional homicide. That means they can still go, well, okay, fine, you didn't mean to. They can still, but again, we'll wait for the trial. This is, again, why do I speak of due process? This is why I tell you every time that it comes to this is that due process is the most important right you have, because you can't speak freely without due process. You can't own a gun without due process. This kid wasn't even of the legal age to own a fucking gun to begin with. Good morning, Mercedes. This is my second to last broadcast for Coffee and a Conversation of this. Hey, and I don't know if you guys can notice here. I'm going to change this real quick. I'm going to see here. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. She's got a Coffee and a Conversation logo on her picture. So thank you, Mercedes, if I haven't said that already to you there. So, but yeah, I'm telling you. Well, again, we'll see what comes out. Again, this is why I believe in due process. Like I said, the only argument I'm going to give is that, again, if he is charged as an adult, you would then have to acknowledge him as an adult with the right to certain unalienable rights. But again, he's a minor, and they are. So it really depends. It could go two ways. It really could. It could go two ways. They charge him as an adult, or they charge him as a minor. And if they charge him as an adult, they're going to have to acknowledge that he had the right, in some instances, at least in Wisconsin, to carry one. Now, in possession, it's 18. So he might have been in possession of a rifle. And again, this is again, I'm not playing judge, jury, and executioner like a lot of people are on the internet. What I'm saying is that there's going to be a trial. What I'm predicting is that he's going to go sit in jail for a while. Good morning, Craig. I see you there. How you doing today? So, I mean, again, the word patriot has been hijacked. Patriot. The founding fathers of this country, just so you're aware, were men and young, I'm going to say guys. I'll say children, even if I have to. 17, 16, 15, picking up a rifle and joining that local militia to fight the British. Make no mistake about it. I get it. But the BLM is not the fucking British. They're not. As much as you want to listen, just like you retarded militia members are the useful pawns of the government, in this case, the sitting government. Make no mistake about it. The sitting government views you as useful fucking idiots. No differently than the ones that are not in power right now. The Democrats view BLM, the organization, as useful fucking idiots. The Proud Boys and Antifa out there clashing. They view you like you're the fucking expendable meat sacks in their war for the name government. You're the Civil War. Don't you fucking get it? And instead of having a peaceful overthrow of a violent government, which is the libertarian utopia, we're watching idiots like you hijack words and change meanings to say that you're a patriot, when really you're just a useful idiot. You're somebody that the government looks at and says, I don't care. Go. I heard somebody say, if you're a BLM parent, meaning your kid's out there working for George Soros, you better hug your child because they might not be coming home. I'm going to tell you the same thing. If you're a patriot, allowing your children to go out into riot zones, illegally possess firearms, and extrajudiciously murder people regardless of their criminal background, it's still extrajudicious murder, at least first-degree homicide. To the professionals, again, I'm just some idiot out here in Meth, Dakota. But to the professionals out there in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they declared it a first-degree homicide. So you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with the people that have charged him. So I don't know why you would think any different. But again, if you're a militia member, a patriot, and you're sending your children out there into the streets with illegally possessed firearms and extrajudiciously murdering people, give them a hug. They're gonna need it. You might not see them again, and if you do, they might be sitting in jail for a while, in an orange jumpsuit with a little coronavirus mask over their face on the TV screen, just like Derek Chauvin. Yeah, which is again crazy to me. But yeah, to the Molotov cocktail people, you're creating a false narrative. Straight up. Just like Hands Up Don't Shoot was a hoax, you're starting to create a new hoax off of this, and that's the right-wing hoax off of this situation. You're no better then. I just want you to know that. Like, you're no better. Like, I don't think just because you brand yourself patriot, just because you brand yourself militia, does not mean that you're somehow the better people in this. I mean, again, you're both useful idiots. And I start with that. You're just being used in different ways. The pawns are arguing about which set of pawns is different. You're black pawns. We're white pawns. Either way, you're still fucking pawns. Either way, you're still being used. Either way, when one of you die, the government don't give a fuck. So stop pretending like they do. Stop pretending like the dick of Donald Trump is going to save you on days when it's clearly not. Donald Trump is not coming to save this kid. I promise you. There is no pardon for him. There is no commutation of his sentence. He's going to sit in jail for a while, and he's going to get due process, and that's all I advocate for. So, you want to join, the clock is ticking down. And as I say that, I have Mercedes on the screen already. Good morning, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm not dead yet.
Well, you're not out there putting a 17-year-old in the militia riot zone, are you?
No, I'm actually out there with the 17-year-olds telling them to remain peaceful so that they don't have an excuse to shoot at us.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think that we're seeing a different time in America. You know?
Yeah, I had a protester assaulted this week in my own town.
Were they 17?
No, but they are transgender.
Okay, and?
I don't know. She just got assaulted by. They did a sneak attack. The guy came up with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend was talking to him. And other dude B, who's a Trump supporter, who also has a very long criminal history and is known in town to start fights and ambush people, came up behind him and hit him over the head to get his flag.
Well, I don't agree with that, obviously.
No, yeah. So the flag was inverted, and Trump supporter pulled over. And
yeah, I call that flag derangement syndrome.
By Trump deplorables.
Yeah, well, in this case, the derangement syndrome comes from a Trump supporter. Yeah.
True, but back to this 17-year-old militia boy whose mom drove him to Illinois to protect property owners.
Was that really? Were you getting the mom took him there?
Oh, I've been reading everything I've been able to find, so I've found every rumor there is. But so far, what I found to be somewhat credible in my own Sadie brain is, kid didn't even drive himself; his mom drove him.
Right. Well, again, I haven't heard who the person was that actually took him there yet.
Yeah. If that's the case, though, in this instance, mom should be charged too for aiding and abetting.
Again, dad's out there. The rumor, Mika was saying dad just left the gun safe open. Like, I don't know. I mean,
really?
I don't know. Again, like it would benefit. It would benefit. Good morning,
everybody.
It would benefit. It would benefit the dad or whoever's firearm it is if they were like, yeah, he just took it without permission.
Yeah, I'm not going to take my kid's... I'm not going to be responsible for my kid right now. I just want to not be in trouble and punish my kid. I'm not going to take responsible for him.
Well, if you did give him the gun, then yeah, you're responsible. But if he took the gun, I mean, there's still a charge in there. I'm sure the government's going to be like, oh, we still got a charge for that. Don't you worry.
Well, I mean, they went into Illinois from out of state. That is known. He wasn't from there. He went there with the intent of hoping to kill someone who was doing something
Which is why they're calling it intentional homicide.
Premeditated would be more.
No, they're saying intentional because they...
Isn't premeditated worse though?
I'm going to give you the threshold of what they've already charged him with.
I don't care. It'll probably get dropped.
It's not going to get dropped.
I hope it's not.
It's been on everybody's eyeballs. We've all, like, if you don't charge this kid, the next 17-year-old is going to go down there and play militia G.I. Joe with his eyeballs doing the 1,000-yard stare like he's been in damn combat already. And saying, yes, militia member, we're here to protect this property. Yeah, I mean, take charge of this property, and all government property in view is literally your first general order in the military. So the militia kind of has that same mentality of take charge of this property and protect it is a very much a fundamental principle of this. So, yeah. But when you stick a 17-year-old kid out on post, and he's already sitting there, been trained mentally, like, hey, these bad BLM people are out here that are gonna do things that I'm out here to stop. And again, you're not qualified. Who is a 17-year-old kid is out there qualified to protect a business that's already been burnt down?
Not just that, but he's attacking the wrong people. Technically, because we all have the same enemy, and that's not the people throwing Mazel Tov cocktails.
Molotov.
Whatever. Words with CJ.
Let me preface this with you.
Preface.
Yeah. I will preface this with you. A Molotov cocktail.
Okay, if we're going to talk about people not thinking, we can't use real words. It's like bigly insulting to them.
I know, and it hugely disappoints your ego.
Hugely.
But I mean, again, Mercedes, I'm not sitting here saying that people don't have the right to protect their property.
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with you.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying maybe not the word militia with a 17-year-old kid in illegal possession of a firearm. I mean, maybe.
I love that ringtone.
Well, yeah, it goes off a lot. I have my days planned out in alarms, like ding ding ding. Hey, you better get ready to do this.
Go do the show.
No, not just the show, but like other things too. Good morning, all my children are waking up. Do you want to be 17? Join a militia to legally possess? No, I'm just...
Please don't. Oh my God! Don't start now on that. What we need to do is, do you want to learn how to do defense and protect your property from people who think they're in a militia? Because a good defense always beats bad offense.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm seeing people defend this kid like they have a good defense, and they don't. At some point, you're going to have to either admit to one of multiple crimes in the defense of this child.
Nope. I don't believe in killing, so.
Yeah, then it's against the non-aggression principle, but again, that's when but here's the thing, they defend it by going, well, it was self-defense.
No, what happened before that skateboarder tried to stop him from continuing to shoot people?
Yeah, the narrative starts for some people on the skateboard guy and not the dude shot in the head.
I am just so done with the internet. You are going to go harvest at the perfect time, CJ.
Oh, why do you think I love harvest season? I need this break.
The same reason why I love going out to feed the farmers who are harvesting. I need the break.
I need the break from this bullshit. Yeah, and again, it's not to say I won't pop on, and I can still take people on as guests, but I just can't do like all the fancy computer and stories and all that. I mean, maybe if people want to bring something to me or whatnot, they can share screen and all that.
I'm not driving 18 hours to come give you food.
No. News stories out in the middle of the cornfields.
Oh, I thought you meant food. Sorry, my brain's still on Farm Woman.
I'm gonna set up my camera where it's just nothing but a wall of corn behind me, and I'm still gonna do the broadcast.
Coffee and a conversation live from the cornfield. Harvest edition.
Yeah, harvest edition. Yeah, I've already got this nice clamp that's gonna. Hopefully, I'll be able to
hold your phone and not
hold my phone in, and well, again, it's gonna clamp.
Oh, I have one like that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking this is too wobbly, so I'm gonna have to like really secure it.
Well, or it'll. Oh, you need to get a stabilizing arm.
Yeah,
a fancy one for the semi.
Yeah, I've tried. I've looked every year for one. I can't find one that would work good for a semi.
I know.
The window ones fall off. The air conditioner holders fall off. All of them fall.
I know someone who might have a degree in fabrication and welding and like stuff that could help you with that or something.
Oh yeah, cool. If you could just prototype a phone holder for a
for semi harvest guys
for a day cab semi, yeah, for sure.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, and again, Mercedes, what do you think of when you hear the word patriot?
Mel Gibson being crazy, TBH. That's what I think of when I hear patriot.
Do you know the dictionary definition of the word patriot?
You know, at one point I did, but the words have been stolen and changed now.
Oh, like the title of this show, how the word patriot is.
Actually, didn't even read the title. I just heard you talking about the.
Oh, the title the title is how crazy is Mercedes on any given day.
Yay! The answer is always
a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors.
Okay, that's a nice definition. That's not what's being done, though.
Yeah, because
I guess it's which side are you on? Which Patriot side are you on? That's what a
Google.
Civil War is. Because that's what's happening.
And again, I'm not disagreeing with you.
This is what I wanted to say. Your rant on the government using these people as useful idiots. I have been telling, not anymore because I'm done, but these people who enjoy guns and claim to be patriots.
I enjoy guns.
And you enjoy defending your country.
And I love and support my country. Exactly. I hate my government. Webster's dictionary is the actual definition of patriot.
And that's my definition of patriot. Like, I love and I want to defend my country from all threats, domestic and foreign. Right now, we have a domestic terror problem that nobody wants to admit because it doesn't benefit them.
Well, see, I've made the claim that BLM and the current form of militia are both domestic terror groups.
I would agree with that. Mostly because they're not terrorizing the enemy.
No, mostly because they're being controlled by the government and the left and right side of the government, which is the same party, and they're being funded and they're being exploited by both sides of the government. Yeah. And on top of that, it's the government saying, "Hey, we'll take away the circus and we'll start a civil war." And the COVID was the perfect excuse to put everybody all up in tensions and get everybody all riled up.
Yep.
And now people are being exploited by the government.
It's psychological warfare that's turning into physical warfare.
Yep. And on top of that, the government's going, well, as long as they're pointing guns at each other and making posts about each other and defending each other's side.
As long as you're not attacking me.
As long as you're not attacking me, the government.
And here's the other thing that I keep reminding. Oh, hi, there's a kitty in the background.
Oh.
Here's what I keep reminding people as well. Our country has been in economic recession after economic recession for what, the last 30 years? Definitely the last 10, because I've been through 3 myself since I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So I keep reminding people, wars make money, and America really likes to make money off of war. You have to know your American history. During World War I and II, America pretty much stayed out of it, but they funded both sides. We helped the bad guys fight the good guys. We were the ones sitting there going, here, we'll be your armor, your ammo, sugar daddy, until we couldn't stay out of it anymore. And then we had to go in, and then we used now, and that's not okay. And so I keep reminding people, hey, our government needs money right now, and if you guys destroy everything you own, then the government gets to come in, condemn the land, and build whatever they want on it. And they're going to make you do it. So they're going to make money off of you destroying your own property, because guess what? Your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, or your business insurance doesn't cover wartime damages. Guess what riots are? Riots are wartime damages.
You're not wrong.
So every home that's been damaged, their homeowner's insurance is able to deny them coverage. Guess what? There are parts of the world in this country that the cities are saying, unless you pay your property taxes, you can't go clean up from these riots. We're going to condemn it and take it.
Oh, like as in like civil asset forfeiture, as
Weird
in like
how that
works. As in they're like, we'll just target these businesses where we want to put something else.
Mm-hmm. So instead of
that's a next level conspiracy.
But it's
Mercedes.
not. That's the law. These people.
Level.
We are taught that the government loves war. And war makes money. I'm in manufacturing industry. I used to build the prison system in which we are housed in. I am telling you, this isn't a conspiracy theory. They want to make money off of you because you're destroying your shit and it pays them.
Yeah.
They don't care about you. They want your money. They want your taxes before they're going to let you rebuild your life. They don't care about you. And I keep telling these people, you're feeding into their plans. You are doing exactly what they want you to do because they're using psychological warfare and mob mentality against you so that they can take your life away. But I'm crazy.
Well, I mean, the title of the show is How Crazy Is Mercedes Really?
Save Britney!
Hey, all right. Here, take over with the Britney news real quick.
It's only a quick reel. Britney's sister won the custodial agreement, and Britney's dad no longer is in charge of her fortune. Her sister is. Ah! I'm so happy. As a sister, that makes me really happy to get away from the abusive dad.
All right, Mercedes, we got a guest backstage. Dr. John Owen. He wants to keep his identity, so I'm sure this is an alias. So as long as it's respectful conversation, we'll hear out what Dr. John Owen has to say. Good morning, John. Are you there?
Hello.
I do believe this is my Facebook friend, actually.
Oh, okay. This might be your Facebook friend.
I don't know. I have Facebook friends with that profile picture.
John, you got the mic. The floor is yours. What do you got this morning?
Yeah, I just wanted to know. By the way, just want to say hi. Thanks for having me in, and I'm really happy to be there. You guys are really nice people. I guess my question was, you mentioned something about the government involving COVID and things like that, and I was just wondering, did you say, or do you think that this is like the government made up COVID or something like that?
Well, okay, John. So I'll take this one here. Where to me, COVID was created by the government, not I don't know necessarily United States government, Chinese government, but certainly a government, and certainly the mishandling of this crisis is not only irresponsible of the government. It caused an economic crisis where there didn't need to be one. And it's the perfect cover for what you see now, the shutdown and control of the economy, the manipulation of the markets, the manipulation of the population, in this case to militia and BLM, and the rise of these two far extreme groups of left and right. And the government, again, is profiting off of both of their creation and entities. So it's not out of the realm of possibility of all things this government's done before for it to be a created crisis. I mean, a created virus, a created situation where they have the intention to control the population through this means. Mercedes, you got something?
Yeah, so having friends abroad in other countries stationed on military bases and watching them go through this crisis first and then it coming to America, knowing it was in America, having the CDC threaten doctors with legal action if they tested for it and had positive cases up in the Western Seaboard, that's a thing. Being seen by doctors and being told that they cannot diagnose you with this even though that you have all of the symptoms because you have not had contact with anybody outside of the country, even though you know it's already here. And then having case results come back from New York because of the rate of spread and that it was 1 in every 1,000, which means that it had been there for several months. Our government totally mishandled the situation to take advantage of it, and now it's out of control because they didn't take into account the general intelligence of the American people. And now because of that, we are dealing with this. When people are locked up anywhere and not given proper mental health support, this is the outcome. They go to things that make them feel safe, and that is violence and a lot of things because people either have fight or flight responses, and the people in the streets are the ones with the fight responses, and they are being manipulated into herd mob mentality. Now, COVID is a very real virus. Where it came from, we might know in about 50 years, but as of now, we have to just assume that this is a naturally...
Put it to this way, John. Someday it's going to be in this book. Put it to that way.
Yeah. So right now we have to remember that this is a real virus. This virus does kill people. It does make people sick. The rate of transmission is super high, and the government's using that right now to try to kill off as many people as possible within the mobs, which is why we have the good people in government that are saying, wear your masks. They don't just keep you safe from dust and COVID. They keep the government from finding out who you are because the face tracking information data hasn't caught up to us wearing masks.
Yeah.
So it's not that the government made COVID. It's that they use this situation in order to progress the violence in America.
As in letting no good crisis go to waste. John, you got anything else there, Dr. John Owen?
Yeah, actually, you know, I had some kind of problem with viewing one government, having the control over, making up a virus or something like that. I don't think it's really beneficial for countries that are under development. For example, my wife comes from Honduras, and I happen to know the situation of the crisis right now at the moment in that country. And I definitely don't think that this was something that was made up in the United States or something like that. There's no advantage to them. They had several quarantines and things like that. So I see the extent of what happened in all other countries, and I am aware that we have different governments, not just one government in the world. It seems like this is an interesting conspiracy theory, but I'm very skeptical when it comes to that.
I can appreciate that, John, with the skepticism. We should always be skeptical about anything that's being presented to us. We should question everything that we're seeing on a screen, which is beneficial to the public discourse to have a conversation where you can say, hey, I don't see all of these facts. This is sounding conspiratorial. And what we want to do is we want to at least establish that, one, it is a conspiracy nonetheless to say, well, the government may not have intentionally created it with the intention to infect the population, and it might not be that 50 years from now, Mercedes. It might be we're on our deathbeds and it comes out, hey, COVID was a completely planned thing by the government and it's unveiled in secret documents. I mean, you never know. But again, I would say that what we currently know is the government is benefiting it, and the people that are controlling the monetary system are benefiting from the economic response to it. So, Mercedes, you got something
in America.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
in
at
America.
Least in this country, yeah.
Yeah, in other countries like Honduras and South America right now, the COVID situation is very bad. They are literally snatching people and putting them into even worse conditions in which they started to quarantine them. I've been following that as well because I was very afraid of authoritarian governments using this to hurt their populations. And that seems to be the case because Italy didn't really have this problem. I mean, their southern part did, where lots of poor people were, but they shut down and got it through pretty quick. Like, America's worse than the worst countries at the beginning now, and that's a problem. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, John.
Hello.
Yeah, John, you got the floor, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I certainly think that when it comes to testing, I'm looking at all the countries in matters of testing. Nice. It seems like USA is doing very good when it comes to testing, as opposed to many other countries in Europe and things like that. So it seems more alarming. Like there's more cases reported and things like that. But I'm definitely, I don't live in USA right now. I'm actually in Canada, and I'm aware of the approximate number they revealed to us concerning testing, and we're definitely far from the United States at the moment. But it doesn't mean we have less cases. It just means we have less testing.
And that's certainly the case here, especially in Nebraska. And I was tested last Friday because I met our vice presidential candidate on Sunday, and I wanted to make sure that I was negative because I had some hay fever and needed to make sure. And the lab messed up all the tests. I got 3 different emails that my test had went to the lab, and now I get to be retested because I can't be sure that my test results were correct. So it's not just under testing. It's unreliable test results because of the testing system here. We were where you're at now in Canada. And I'm sorry that your government is doing that as well. But you guys have a whole national health system, don't you?
We do have a free healthcare system in Canada. It goes with inconvenience and advantages in some ways. I'd say I'm more of a private healthcare guy. I was wondering, actually, I just joined in a little bit out of the blue because I didn't know your guys' channel and things like that. I just I searched for a live conversation, and I've listened to you for a little while, and then I thought, I just want to join and have a discussion about this.
Well, John, I appreciate you joining the broadcast, actually. Mercedes and I kind of off and on do these little parts where we're just bullshitting and talking, and both of us are running for state senate in our respective states, and we are just having that conversation this morning that's open. Like, I mean, I don't know how much more. I've been begging just Trump supporters to come on, but here I've got John, a man who lives in Canada, able to join my broadcast and have a respectful conversation about it. And it is an open conversation, John, and I'm glad you clicked the link. I'm glad you brought this conversation up, and I think that it's a very fair discussion to have, and I hope you'll subscribe and find me on here so you can add in anytime you want, man.
I do have a question though, Dr. John. You live in Canada now, but I hear an accent. Where is your accent from? If you could tell me.
Oh, I am French, actually. I speak, je parle français, donc.
Parlez-vous français?
Okay, fair enough. All right.
I knew it. I found it. My ears are good. Okay, that's all I wanted. I'm
all right. Well, John, do you have anything else for us today before we let you off the line here?
No, I guess my only last question would be, I know you guys are libertarian. I'm not really much aware of how things are, how things go in South Dakota and things like that, and the rest of the United States. But what is your main difference with Republicans as a summary?
Mercedes, you want to handle this one? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll answer, and then we'll let John off the hook here.
Well, I'm more of the left libertarian. I don't share much with the Republicans at all, so let me just tell you the way. So the Libertarian Party, as the party stands today, compared to as where the Republican Party is today, and what I've been told by other Republicans that I have been talking to as constituents, is that the Libertarian Party is everything the Republican Party wanted to be but failed to be because they're authoritarian. You're muted, CJ.
Yeah, okay, so she identifies as left libertarian. I would say I fall more on the right libertarian side.
On the political test we took, we
on-
were
on-
equally
yeah.
center of our sides.
Yeah, I can't get this thing to be full screen for some reason, but I've got I got a demonstration here.
Yeah.
Where you can see what libertarians actually agree with and disagree with on as far as left and right positions. And this is kind of like the divide of where you can see where our stances are different, but where we also can look at both parties and say, hey, we agree with you here, but we disagree with you there. Big one for me is the military adventurism, and both parties have been involved in that. I disagree with them on that. I disagree with them on gun bans, and we've actually seen a flip since this was made. This one has it on as individuals' rights to keep and bear arms. We agree with, although the socialist parties of the United States, both the Republican and Democrat wings, agree that taking guns first without due process is standard business procedure. Libertarians believe that you have the right to own your body, own yourself, self-ownership, as well as your property rights, and that's keeping and bearing arms. And what you choose to put in your body is your choice. That's not a choice for Republicans that they don't agree with. They believe in ingestion laws. They believe in
Forced birth laws.
Forced birth laws, yeah. And it even says on here Republicans and libertarians agree with less spending when neither party has spent less on government. In fact, they've grown our government exponentially. So I'd even say that this chart that I've shown you is outdated after, and this was created before Donald J. Trump's Trumpophile party. So, I mean, this one's going to change. But yeah, the big difference is between libertarians, Republicans, and Democrats is one, libertarians have never been in control of the government, so we've never had a chance to fuck it up. Two, libertarians believe you own yourself, and neither of these parties believe that as well. So that's the quickest way to break it down, but we could do a whole hour and a half long show on what it is to be a libertarian. Yeah. Yeah, and bring on guest after guest. But John, again, any other questions? Again, I want you to feel welcomed anytime on the broadcast. You bring in some great questions to us.
Oh, I mean, that was it. I appreciate you putting me on, and I hope you have a good day.
I have one quick question.
Mercedes got a burn in them again.
Well, I now that I know where you're from, how do you feel about the guillotine?
The guillotine?
Le guillotine?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
La Bastille. Bastille.
How do you feel about the guillotine?
About the guillotine?
And being used against political figures.
Specifically those that violate fundamental, unalienable rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
I'm not sure I follow, because I mean, guillotine to me means the cutting of your head or something.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the usage of the term outside of medieval.
The French used it very beautifully to solve all their political problems.
Oh, okay. So you're asking in terms of history. Okay. I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to French history, particularly in France. So I don't really have an opinion. I am for death penalty as a Christian, but our governments don't actually practice that, and I wouldn't enforce that. I respect the current order of our government in Canada, although I may disagree.
Okay.
Well, I can respect that answer.
Yes,
Dr. John Owen, everybody, thank you for joining your first cup of coffee and a conversation. Hope to see you again soon. Bring some hard questions our way.
Peace be upon you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Well,
John,
that was fun.
Yeah, a random anonymous Canadian from France. Yeah, absolutely.
Canada. Oh, does that mean he's French
Canadian? Duh.
Ah!
Yeah.
Look at me go.
Whoa.
I feel like an American.
Now see, though, again, John, if you're watching, we enjoyed that time.
That was fun. You made my brain noodle work a little bit, and it's not been worked for a minute because Merca.
Yeah, what a great way to demonstrate that I can talk to a French Canadian
Politely.
whose wife is from Honduras, politely, and a Trumpophile
And-
is not even has the testicular huevos to click that link that's been up there.
Well, not just that. He said that we're very nice people.
Yes, thank you, John. Again, I appreciated the respectful conversation for sure.
I gotta just.
It gives me hope that there's other people out there that are intelligent and can think for themselves, and even if we disagree in some aspects, still keep it polite and respectful. So yeah, Dr. John Owen, you are welcome on Coffee and a Conversation
I'm
anytime.
glad he chose Dr. John too, because that makes me happy.
Yeah, he might really like our Mental Health Mondays when we get those back.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep doing those, even though that you're abandoning it.
Well, but see, here's the thing. I'm not. Well, first and foremost, it's responsibility. But
Abandonment issues.
all right. But what I'm saying is if you do what I do and put the link in the description, you never know when I'll hop on for a Mental Health Monday from the cornfield.
That's the only reason why I want to do the link in the description.
I had a friend of mine who doesn't know that I do corn silage. Like, CJ, you don't strike me as the kind of guy that can drive a semi. Like, yeah, no, I've done it for a few years now.
I have driven a semi.
Yeah, it's actually easy if you know what you're doing.
Okay, my favorite part about driving the bobtail semi was the air seats. Because I'm light enough that they just, if I bounce on them, they just bounce so good.
Yeah, air ride is nice.
That was just so much fun.
Yeah.
I did not have a license because I'm a
Well, yeah, no, I'm not gonna
I
condemn you.
wasn't on the road. I just moved it from.
Hi, Sheriff Dave. Hi, Sheriff Dave. Mercedes was driving in Nebraska semi
That's
without a
funny you
license.
say that because my mom's friend with Sheriff Dave here.
You have a Sheriff Dave too?
We do have a Sheriff Dave.
Our Sheriff Dave isn't the worst sheriff in the world.
Ours isn't either. He definitely is a good sheriff.
I would say that, I mean, he still wants you to require laws where there's no victim, but there's still a crime in their mind. And I disagree with that fundamentally. But it's not like he's out here kicking in doors of nonviolent people. So, I mean.
Well, see, and here in Kearney, we've had such a violence problem in the past because we did have a lot of gang activity that I can't actually get into. That they just tend to just be really good at de-escalating things because they don't want to fight. But also, most of our police force in this area look like corn-fed linebackers, so I guess that helps.
You know what I also noticed? And I'm not going to be the producing your next interview with Adam Kokesh.
Who's going to be producing my birthday interview?
Producer Jim Freedom. He's taking over for me while I'm going to be in the cornfield. So yeah.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, but I'm still in the Producers Club. Obviously, I'm still. I mean, I'm gonna click the link backstage when I've got the access to it and listen to the show backstage. And if they wanna watch what I'm actually doing in real time, they'll watch me drive a corn truck. And
God, I almost want to become a member of that club just so I can watch you backstage.
I thought you won membership one day.
Did I win membership?
I thought you did. I thought you were one of the winners.
I don't know.
I thought you did.
Well, I don't know. Am I supposed to get a link or something?
You're supposed to email comment Jim Freedom at jim@thefreedomline.com.
Oh, well, I haven't done that.
And then when you do that, you say, hey, I won a contest and I didn't get entrance into it, and I want to be a part of the Producers Club. And it's basically where we aggregate all the show content. And we
aggregate.
Yeah, aggregate.
Oh my God. Aggregate.
Yeah. We use it as a news aggregate.
I don't.
Aggregate. We use it to aggregate the news. It is a news aggregate. There.
Okay, so that makes me think of something in the field, because I is a foreign kid.
Aggregate, like combine together, bring it all into one spot. Yeah.
And bring it up to the surface.
Yeah, so words are important, Mercedes. Words are important.
Are hard.
Yeah, and guess what? You want to be in charge of the words that make the laws, and you want to make sure that those words.
Point of order. Can we define?
This isn't interrupting motion.
Point of personal privilege, then.
Okay. Yeah, they're still interrupting motion, but go for it.
No, I don't care. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, fair enough. All right, you guys, go to votemercedes.com and help Mercedes become the next senator for District 37 in Nebraska. We have 67 days, 14 hours, 59 minutes, if you can believe that. And hey, John, if you're still watching and you want to learn more about what a libertarian is, Mercedes website's got you hooked up. You can click this learn more.
Yep.
And
Mercedes.com.
it'll take you right to our platform, which is beautiful. I mean, you got it on the hook. And like I said, we start with the first one of self-ownership. And that once you realize you own yourself, the world is a lot different place for sure.
A lot harder place once you realize that. Let's be honest.
Let's just say it comes with certain responsibilities, because with great power
comes great
responsibility. And to close out on the Kenosha shooting, a rifle is a lot of power. It comes with a lot of responsibility, and there's no reason a 17-year-old kid should be out there playing militia member and shooting people, regardless of how you're going to justify it. It's pretty fucked up. So, okay. Mercedes, you got anything?
Yes. Remember, equality before the law, so we can have the good life for all, y'all.
That is a good one. Have a good day or don't. The choice is always, I lost it. Oh no, it's gone. Yours. We'll see you later.
Welcome to Coffee and a Conversation, hosted by CJ Abernathy for South Dakota.